What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. Happy Friday, almost Saturday. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you had an amazing, happy, blessed, healthy Thanksgiving. I know I for sure did. I got to spend time with my cousins, my husband. In my family, I have cousins who are like middle-aged senior citizens. I have cousins who are my age box. To the 40s. I have cousins who are in college, about to graduate. I have cousins who are still in junior high school, elementary school. And so being able to have all those generations together was so dope. And most importantly, being able to see what they're all doing, especially my cousins who are about to graduate college in May of 2019. They're doing amazing things. They're on track to just kill it out here in this thing called life. I love their ambition, their hunger, their passion. It's just dope. One of them is a DJ. Two of my cousins are twin sisters. One's a DJ, one is a photographer. My other cousin, who's a male, he is like killing it at Albany State. Trying to get down with the FBI, doing fashion shows. I think he's an alpha. Like, they're killing it, and I'm so proud of them. So being able to connect with them and catch up with them, you know, exchange Instagram handles with them, or following one another. And even just with my brand that I'm building, I love to be able to, you know, create opportunities for even my own family, friends, loved ones. I don't know what's going on here. That was dope. And just, you know, for them to think that me, their 35-year-old cousin, is still pretty cool out in these streets. For them to even want to, like, give me their social media information was truly dope. I was saying that to my husband. He's like, well, why wouldn't they? I'm like, I don't know. You know, sometimes younger folks, they don't want to like business with their older cousins. I was always the type where I wanted to hang out with my cousins who were in their 30s when I was in my 20s, you know? But not everybody's like that. But to see that my little cousins, the generation under me, you know, still seemed like they were interested in like having conversations with me and sharing what's going on in their lives, I thought that was pretty amazing. And then of course for my husband to be able to really get to know like my extended family. Of course, he's well connected and close and acclimated with my immediate family, my parents, my brother, my niece, my nephews, my sister-in-law. That's great. But like for him to like now really be getting to know my cousins and them getting to know him and building their own rapport, like I think that's amazing. And so Thanksgiving was fun. We always, for years, would come together as like one big family on my dad's side and, you know, all go out to Brooklyn, which is where we were this year, and play games, eat food, talk. So it was cool. And it even inspired me to want to further, you know, me, I'm a planner and a creator, y'all, you know, plan and create some amazing family, memorable reunion type vacation situations. And, you know, I'm going to take on the task of like really trying to plan something for my family. Since our matriarchs have died, the matriarchs were my grandmother and her 4 sisters. I think one is still alive, but most of them have passed away. You know, I feel like we all kind of dropped the ball, and so I kind of like challenged my cousins when we were all together for Thanksgiving about us picking up that ball and like really planning things for the family to get together, going back to having our reunions every 2 years, or, you know what I'm saying? Life is short. I'm tired of us coming together because someone passed away, or, you know, only coming together to celebrate a wedding. Like, let's come together and do reunions and have Thanksgiving dinners and do things in between the year. Like, that's what I'm about. Maybe my calling is to be like, aside from being a creator and all that, creator meaning creating content and opportunities, maybe I'm also like a connector out here, like bringing people together, right? And then ended up taking on the task to host Thanksgiving at my house next year, which you know, I always feel like if my husband and I were blessed to have a beautiful home, you know, my husband and I, we like to host and entertain, hence we're having an annual holiday party with our friends and cousins, you know, in a couple of weeks. You know, why not do it with family as well? And so as big of a task as that is to like have Thanksgiving for like 20 people, oh, this is going to be a potluck like we normally do. Everybody's going to bring what they do well. I'm going to cook and order and like have that Haitian fish ordered and have certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll figure it out. But I feel like if I have to be the one, then I'll be the one. I'm up for the challenge. So hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving. I kind of wanted to share a little bit of what mine was about. It's funny, I had actually recorded a vlog before this, and every time I record vlogs, I watch them because I try to be wise with what I'm saying, right? You know, I talk about a lot of experiences, personal experiences, and I have to remember at times that just because I'm speaking my truth doesn't mean that other people want their truth to be spoken as well, or want me to speak my truth that includes other people, so to speak. And I never use names like that and put people on Front Street or blast, but I didn't feel comfortable with releasing what I recorded previously, so we gonna X that out. And this has happened before in my time of doing this whole vlogging thing, and I find when that happens, I go with my guttural instinct and I scratch it, and then, you know, start talking from the dome about something else that's just as thought-provoking or I'm just as connected to, and that vlog ends up coming out way better. So that's my hope with this one. Just so you know, Move with Finesse, we do have a class coming up. I'm no longer going to refer to it as a pop-up dance class because we're here to stay. This is not something fly-by-night. We pop up because we're going to be inconsistent. Like, no, me and my girl niece, we're about this dance thing. We're here, we're doing the damn thing. And so we have a dance class scheduled on December 8th from 8 p.m. to 9:30 in the Bronx at 1630 Westchester Avenue, at a dance studio called Dancers Dreams, because it has like 3 Z's, Dreams. And we're ready. My girl and I, you know, we had some changes. We went from 3 choreographers to 2. Everything is kind of working out the way that it should. Things are just falling into place effortlessly. Yes. And so it feels good. It feels right. And we want you to come actually and have this experience with us. We want to have an experience with you where you learn some dope dance moves. It's a beginner level. No worries. It's tangible choreography, but we're here for a purpose and a plan. Great vibes, positivity, building each other up. It's in the Bronx. It's $10, y'all. And at a beginner's level. All the major things that my vision entailed, we have been able to fulfill, and it feels so good. And so we're here to do this, so please join us. Let's have fun. Let's move with finesse together. And what I will say that I learned from that whole experience, you know, I started putting the wheels in motion for this whole movement and dance class situation that we've created since early July, end of June. And we've had our hurdles, you know, we've had some changes, but what my takeaway is, because I always feel like God will have learning curves and teachable moments, just through life experiences in general, is to always stick with your guttural instincts, y'all. Stick to your initial visions. Don't give up. Keep it pushing. Work hard. And make sure that you're aligned with people, especially when you're creating opportunities and you're collaborating and working with others. Just make sure that whoever's in your camp, whoever you're collaborating or working with, that the vision, the purpose, the work ethic, all those things are in sync. You'll know who's meant to be a part of things and who's not meant to be a part of things. And on the flip side, you'll know if you're meant to be a part of something and if you're not meant to be a part of something. So I did have a very valuable takeaway just for me to stick with my guttural instincts, because I kind of veered off from my guttural instincts just a bit, and even just that tad bit that I veered off, it was evident that I shouldn't have, so to speak. So I'm glad that we have the ball rolling. We're back at it. December 8th. Let's do it. Moving along. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I guess I'm kind of freestyling this thing. Today at work, interestingly enough, I've been having like interesting interactions particularly with a lot of male clients and customers. They come into the store and they're looking for Christmas gifts for their wives, their girlfriends, side pieces, whoever, right? And this older gentleman came in today. He's a retired surgeon, like neck and face surgeon, I think, neck and head surgeon or something. And he came in wanting to get a bag for his girlfriend. He said they were high school sweethearts a long time ago. They ended up marrying other people. He said he was married for like 36 years. She was married. She married someone that they went to high school with. She ends up getting a divorce. He ends up leaving his wife to get with her because he just could never shake her after all these years. And as much as he was in there fussing about how much she wasn't going to like any of our bags, I managed to help him, find a bag that hopefully she will like. Gave him a gift receipt just in case she wants to come and exchange it for something else. Dope bag. One of our, within Coach, we have like two different collections, and we have 1941 collection, which I consider to be like the Bentley of bags. And then we have like Coach New York, which is great quality bags, but different price points, right? And so he brought one of like the 1941 collection bags, and dope bag that I even want for myself. And, I'm like, I hope she likes it, but I'm prepared for that return to happen at some point in January, or maybe even, at some point after Christmas is her Christmas gift. But I say all that to say I had like an amazing connection and exchange with this older guy. Like, he's clearly like well in his 60s, probably kissing 70. And he was just like with me for like an hour in the store. I didn't even know that amount of time went on. One of my associates is like, yeah, that guy, you were working with him for like an hour. I'm like, dang, it really was an hour, huh? And just even hearing like a lot of my customers' stories, or just customers that come in the store, clients, it's just amazing. And it reaffirms for me the importance of connecting with people. It doesn't matter if we come from different walks of life. Half the time, the customers can't probably particularly relate to me, and then in other cases they do, but just the power of connecting with people, that's what helps me to be successful at my job. I think, in all of my years of being in the social work field, is the ability to connect and to, in short periods and spans of time, to really be able to listen. And I used to train a lot when I was in my last job about true listening, like what it means, what it takes to really listen to what people are saying, and not just listening to respond, but really truly listening, actively listening. And all of these skills, God, are so amazing. This is why my transition from the social work world to like luxury retail has been pretty seamless, and why I'm doing well and was promoted in such a short span of time to like manager status, because I know how to work with people. There is something to be said about having the ability to interact, connect, and work with people. I think that that's also what helps me to be successful in my friendships a lot of times, and why a lot of my friends feel they can talk to me about anything and everything, why my husband a lot of times and I can have real transparent and deep conversations. It's something to be said when you're able to work and connect with people, when you're able to be a team player, when you're able to make people feel comfortable. I think that's what my customers feel when they work with me, a sense of warmth and comfortability, and a sense of some level of confidence in the fact that even if they don't know why the hell or what the hell they're looking for in our store, that I'm going to be able to help them to find what it is that they're trying to get for themselves, or what they're trying to gift for someone else. And I say the ability to know how to work with people, I think, could get us far in life. You don't have to be in the social work field, and you don't have to be studying psychology per se, to need to know how to work with people. I think in every field, in every career, in every day-to-day interaction, in your friendships, in your relationships, in your marriages. Like, we have to know how to work collaboratively with other people. This is why Move with Finesse was so important to me. And another part of why I created this moment with girlfriends was because I felt like as adult women of color, we're often counted out and deemed as if we don't know how to get along, we don't know how to work with one another. I always feel like there's a certain skill level that is necessary in really going the distance in the long haul and working with others, right? And I knew, one, it will push us all to be able to boss up and level up in our individual endeavors, as well as, pushing us to stay and be able to work together, right? Different personalities, different visions, different skill sets, but being able to like put all of that to good use to work together. And there's some people in life it's just easy, to work with, and then there are other people in life it's like, oh, how are we gonna get through this, And so I'm just thankful that my professional experience and my educational experience and background has helped me in being able to know how to work with people, interact with people, to actively listen to what they're saying, what their needs are. I promise you, in all areas of our life, we need to understand how to maneuver and work with humans. It's just what it is, And so I think there's something to be said about that, and it just encourages me to even want to continue to sharpen my people skills. I know not everybody's gifted in that area. Some people have anxiety when in crowds or when having to interact with others on the spot, when having to find some level of a common ground, when understanding where it's okay to just respect the differences. Like, I get it. It's not the easiest thing to maneuver, especially if you're not used to it. But it's something to be said when you do have that ability. I think it's something we all should, even if we don't naturally have that ability, something we all should strive to try to improve at or get better at. Because in order, I think, for anyone to exist, like, we all have to kind of coexist in this world. None of us are isolated on an island alone, right? So we all in some ways have to understand the dynamics of working with humans and interacting and being able to make those exchanges and interactions work, so to speak. For me, it's always been in my professional life where that was a necessity. So I was forced to naturally was good at it, but forced to even get better at it. Being married, it's a constant tango dance. You're constantly having to dance through life together, right? It can't be where my husband's pulling me left and I'm trying to pull him right. Like, we have to be able to like do this tango thing together, interact, work together, friendships as well. In adulthood, friendships are easy when you're kids, y'all. When you're grown, it takes a lot more out of you. And so it's understanding those dynamics, when it's important for the things that bind us or, bring us together, the commonalities, when those things are necessary. And then also to understand where it's okay to be different and to have differences and to see the world differently, but still respect those differences and not let it hinder the friendship or the relationship. It's a lot, but there is an art to it that I guess we all got to figure out in our own way, how it works for us. What I will say is I was watching the reel, as I always do when I finish vlogging. I'm going to watch today's episode because your girl DVRs them. I love the real talk that they do have. And I think the other day I saw a clip and then I watched the episode of Lonnie kind of expressing, and she became choked up and emotional about Lonnie was always the one on the panel. She was married for 2 minutes, didn't like it, got a divorce, and wanted to live her life not remarrying. And she would multi-date, and she was honest and real about that. And she poured into her career, and She's a woman in her 40s who seems like she's okay and loves where she's at in life, which is why I say not everybody, marriage doesn't need to be something that's on the table for everybody. That's not something everybody wants. She tried it, didn't like it, whatever. Now she seems to be in this relationship, with a guy that she really seems to care about. And maybe, I don't know if she's monogamous, but she just seems like she's really like enjoying being with this man. And she got choked up because I think they were talking about, somehow she got on the topic of self-love, right? You know, which is where my ears, like, they go dee 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 dee, you know, and I'm like all in because it's a big premise of Complex Simplicity, right? She's talking about self-love and the importance of knowing and learning how, like, really truly loving yourself, and that once that happens, then the door opens for love to find its way to you, for you to potentially meet who it is you're supposed to be with, or in my belief system, who God has for you. And I'm like, I love when the things that I talk about on the regular are said by people who have way bigger platforms than I do, where the masses will have more of a chance of hearing it than the people who, you know, I'm still building, right? So I'm not to the point where thousands, hundreds, thousands, millions of people are going to hear and watch these vlogs and hear the things that I often talk about. So when people who are celebrities, who are on TV every day, who do have huge platforms, say the very things and principles that I always talk about, it warms my heart and makes me happy. It soothes my soul, because hopefully this message is really getting out there to the masses. You know, a lot of times we expect to that someone else is going to love us even when we don't love ourselves. And it's like, how do you expect somebody to love you when you don't love you, right? So when you don't love you, you're attracting potentially people who really won't love you either. High propensity that can happen, right? We attract where we are in life. A lot of times we attract who we are. So when you do the work and you learn to genuinely appreciate and love who you are, work on the areas that need to be worked on, right? But still, ultimately, flaws and all, love who the hell you are. A lot of times that's when the world opens up as your oyster and God is like, this is who I have for you. You've gotten it, you're ready. Because also, it's flip side. Because a lot of times we just think, is it like in a linear way? We just think about, oh, me. But if I'm struggling with loving who I am, how can I love somebody else the way they need to be loved, right? If I can't even figure out how to love myself, right? And I understand, I hear my own thoughts, I know how I think, I know my innermost secrets, and I can't even figure out how to love me, then how the heck am I going to love somebody else? Can't hear their thoughts, right? Don't know all the things that really go on in their head. Don't know all the intricate parts of who they are just yet. Probably never. There's certain things I feel like we'll never fully know, even when you've been with somebody forever and a day, 50 years, right? You know, don't know their innermost secrets, right? So, but we a lot of times feel like, oh, I can love you with my being, with my soul, but I don't even love me. How does that work? You know, so I'm just glad when I heard Lonnie like really talk about that. Like, you know, so it's not just about us learning to love ourselves just so we can receive love. That's part of it. But it's also learning how to love ourselves so that we can genuinely love somebody else and understand what that love really is. Like Jeannie made a good point. You know, the relationship that we have to learn how to master is the one with ourselves first, right? You know, for those who believe in Jesus, of course, we need to figure that one out too, and that should be a priority in our life. But we need to understand and learn how to love ourselves, right? We should be able to have absolute love for ourselves, be in love with ourselves, right? Why is it so easy for us to just always want to tackle loving someone else? We never want to start here. This is the first relationship we need to figure out. We're cool with getting into relationships with other people, but for some reason, it's like we don't want to take the time to really have a relationship with ourselves, get to understand who you are, how you think. Why do you think the way you think? what were you exposed to? How has your childhood affected your day-to-day life, right? Those experiences. Why is it that there's certain things that we're still struggling with? Are we trying to work on those things? Like, there's a lot for us to deal with within ourselves, to me, on a consistent basis before we could really just jump to now want to like love and get to know and understand someone else, but we still don't really understand ourselves enough. And I feel like that's the biggest roadblock in a lot of people's lives. Maybe as to why they quite haven't figured out the love, or how I like to refer to it as matters of the heart area within their lives, right? And so I'm just so glad when people with huge platforms like put that out there. And, Lonnie got emotional, and, I guess that was her way of saying, I'm at a place now where I truly love myself. I'm pretty sure, because I'm a Black woman who deals with weight issues. I've been losing weight, don't even know how, y'all. I can't even work out the way I used to because my job schedule was so crazy and hectic and all over the place. But I guess there's something to standing up all day and not being able to sit at a desk and eat, or when I'm in my car, when I used to do home visits, driving and eating at the same time. There's something to be said for these 9-hour shifts that, you girls losing weight. Everywhere I go now, everybody's like, oh my gosh, you look great, you're losing weight. And I'm just like, but I haven't worked out. But then I'm trying on things. We all have those 1 or 2, 3 articles of clothing that determine if you've gained weight and determine if you've lost weight. And I'm fitting into things where I'm like, oh, okay. So, I understand the struggle with weight and just all that it takes to like get a hold of it and to work out, and the discipline it takes for all of that. And so I'm pretty sure, she struggled with her own insecurities like most of us have or do when it comes to weight. And, she's lost a lot of weight. She's looking great. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm sure that helps to boost your self-esteem, and you feel even more comfortable in the bedroom or with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And so I love when those kind of vulnerable moments happen. That's, to me, how you connect with people. I've said this before, probably quite a few times. Relatability is it's important out here, and just vulnerability and transparency and just being able to connect, going back to my initial point of being able to connect with people where people are like, oh, I see myself, but there's something in you that I connect with. It resonates with my spirit. Like, I'm here with you, So I love when the ladies of The Real have those moments, which they do pretty often, where they're shedding tears, or they're talking about vulnerable moments within their lives, or they're discussing their insecurities, or they're discussing how they've turned a corner about certain things in their lives. Like, I love that. Like, that to me, those are the powerful moments, in life that I think are so dope. And so just an encourager out there to us all. As I always say, I'm a part of the conversation. I'm not above it. I have my insecure moments as well in life. We all do, right? And so just, remembering that we always have to remember to constantly love ourselves, be in love with ourselves, like love who you are, like who you are, yes, I have a husband, but that doesn't mean that the work stops, the inner work stops for me. No, I still have to make sure that I'm in tune with who I am, that I'm loving me, I'm appreciating who I am. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, you want to be like, bitch, you beautiful. Some people probably be like, why do you refer to yourself as that? But like, it's like a weird thing that I'll do with myself sometimes. It's like, yes, you know what I'm saying? So it's important for us to really be able to like remember that. Women, we gotta remember that. Men too, like, fall in love with you. Let's really like do that work and be in love with who we are. I promise you, the desires of your heart will happen. Love will find you. You won't even have to be out here searching, it'll find you. But, if we're still struggling in that area, then there's a high chance we're either going to be with the wrong people, wrong person, or we're going to find that we're just continuously single. You know what I'm saying? And I always get very reflective, especially towards the end of every year. Like I get super reflective. I'm normally reflective on a day-to-day, but like towards the end of the year, I'm like uber reflective. And just looking back, you know, when you look back at, regardless of how old you are, I'm 35, right? Looking back on all these years as far as I can remember, like trying to play the movie reel of my life, the things that I have accomplished, the things that are priceless that I've accomplished. A lot of priceless accomplishments for me have nothing to do with the materialistic things of this world. It's just where I am emotionally, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, where I am professionally, where I am, how I see things now, you know, my level of confidence, self-love, right? My fearlessness. Like I start to really think about these things. It's funny, yesterday, you know, my husband and I, my parents, my brother, his wife, it was my brother's wife's birthday, my sister-in-law, happy birthday, Yana. It was yesterday, but girl, it's still your birthday. And we went all the way down to 3rd Avenue in Manhattan to Dos Caminos, which is a Mexican restaurant. She loves Mexican food, so I kind of helped my brother to like find a place. You know, in my family, I'm like the go-to planner. I'm the girl everybody wants to call when it comes to planning, researching. They're like, call Chanel, get her looped in on this, right? So I helped my brother out. We go to this place, great ambiance. The food was decent, not amazing, not horrible, in the middle somewhere, but great experience, right? And my sister-in-law said, you know, I wrote a letter to myself. Every birthday, I write a letter to myself. And I address the things that I want to change and get better at. I address the things I've accomplished, and I address where I'm trying to go. And I thought that that was so dope. Like, that's a dope thing. I may even start to implement that, where every birthday moving forward, I write a letter to myself. And then at the next birthday, you read the former letter, you know, that you wrote the year before, right? Like, I think that that is so cool, because I like to like look back and see how far I've come, or God forbid if I haven't come far at all, haven't really grown or budged. Like, I like to look at the scope of my life year to year, or over a span of years. And, you know, I'm proud, you know, to say 4 years I'm still married. Like, the married folk understand what I'm saying. Marriage is real. I always say this to y'all, broken record with this. Marriage is real. So any year that you're accomplishing still being married is an amazing and blessing. It's an amazing feat, and it is a blessing. So that warms my heart. The fact that I finally am on the right track with my career, I feel like, with where I want to be, that blesses and warms my heart. Look forward to going to work every day. Don't like hate it the way I used to. Amazing. The fact that I feel like my relationships, my friendships with my girls, my inner circle it's really in a good place. For someone who's had a lot of issues in friendships for years, we're in a good place. I mean, knock on some imaginary wood. And that feels good. Like, we're making it a point and effort to stay connected. Chat rooms, y'all, are the best thing. I've been late to the party with being a part of chat rooms, but they're everything, because my girls and I, we are on a chat and we talk several times a week and stay connected. Like, it's been a blessing for us. We've been doing this at least for like 3-4 months now, and it's truly been a blessing. So that feels good. Family life, you know, being connected, of course, with my immediate family, but also with my extended family, like reconnecting with everybody and trying to be the one to implement us remaining connected. That feels good. Like, I overall feel good, you know, and of course I'm praying and hoping that the rug is not pulled from under me, because I know life is hard and has a lot of unexpected twists and turns and curves. But when I look back, you know how Dorinda Clark says, when I look back over my life, like, you know, I'm able to see like, wow, like, girl, we're on our way. Like, you're where you're supposed to be. That feels so good. Like, when you feel like you're actually, for the most part, where you are supposed to be. And I want to wish that for everyone. I want to continue. I haven't arrived, y'all. Like, you know, I'm not coming off on that tip, but just it feels good to know like I'm closer, or I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, right? Getting closer and closer to what my true purpose is in life. And I want that for everyone, right? And so whatever it is that you will and want for your life, whatever are the desires of your heart, just know they're tangible, y'all. We just have to do the simple things, right? Right? Like the work within ourselves, stuff that we can control. I love that a lot of celebrities have been bandwagoning about mental health and the importance of it. I will continue to always, bandwagon this topic as well. Like, mental health is everything. Sometimes we don't realize it's the very thing that's affecting us from progressing at work and in career, professionally, from finding love finding us, from being able to stay connected and have meaningful relationships and friendships. It may be what's standing in the way from us being able to relate to others or to connect with others, just in general. Those conversations that I have a lot, or the conversations that I have a lot with customers and clients, like sometimes those little connections will keep them coming back. And for me, it's so much deeper than just the job and me making my goals to help me to progress and move forward within my career, with my company. It's deeper than that in some ways. Like, sometimes you never know. Like, I've always experienced, even in the social work world, the very people that I'm here helping end up helping me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just human connection is just important as a whole, but sometimes if we have certain emotional or mental health challenges, needs, deficits, that can affect our ability to connect with others. And, I just wanted to have a simple message today, but just for us all to remember, connection is everything. You know what I'm saying? And even just looking back as the year is coming to a close and seeing what have we accomplished in 2018? What is it that we're trying to accomplish in 2019? What are some areas that we still need to put more focus on and work on and figure out? Are we still struggling with really loving ourselves and who we are at this juncture of the road? If so, why? Is it standing in the way of love? Is it standing in the way of having enough confidence and knowing our worth to the point where we can go for those big time jobs, where we could jump off cliffs and take risks and chances with careers and matters of the heart and just independence, day-to-day living, is it standing in the way of us being good family members or great friends, or I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of what I was trying to say. But yes, and also don't ever steer away from your guttural instincts and feelings. I always feel like it's God kind of nudging us, saying, that ain't what you should be doing. Every time that I've kind of gone against the grain of what my guttural instincts have shown me, things have never quite worked out. And so even, like I said, recently I was reminded, you got to stick with your guttural instincts. Even when they don't make sense, you got to stick with it. And so hopefully this made sense. Hopefully you come out and rock with me and my girl niece with Move with Finesse. If you're in the tri-state area and you're close to the Bronx, come rock out with us. Let's dance. Let's have fun. Let's empower one another. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're at 38 minutes. I think I should stop now. As I always say, thank you for rocking out with your girl. Continue to head to complexedsimplicity.com. And until next time.